What's up, everybody? I bought a 1968 Vietnam Jeep. I don't know much information on this thing right now. I have the paperwork, but I just haven't read through it. So I got this thing about 2 days ago. It was out of the blue purchase. It was for a pretty good deal. And this thing has been sitting for 5 years. It's got a good wrench 350. No, not a good wrench. It's got a crate motor in it, roller rockers. I don't have the paperwork on it, but it's a fresh motor, I think. I haven't checked it out yet. It's got the factory stick in it, so it's a manual. The tires are good enough to get where we're going. It's got a tarp on it I don't like. That tarp's got to come off. The winch does not work. I have the shaft though. All I have to do is hook up the shaft to the transmission because it's a PTO driven winch. So the plan first thing is we're going to do a running and driving video, see if this thing could run and see if it could drive. Now we're going to go ahead and take a walk around this thing and see what this rig is about. Okay, so as you can see, it's been sitting for about quite some time now. The owner told me 5 years. It's got some moss all over it. But I mean, it is pretty rusty. You know, you can't complain because it's from 1968. But yeah, we'll just walk around it first. But it's not that bad. It's not that rusty on the outside. The floors are rusty. You got a little secret compartment in there. That's the old fuel tank, but we're not going to be using that. It's got side pipes. I think it's got some aftermarket cats. But thankfully the tires are in good shape because I was not wanting to buy new ones of those. Come around to the back over here. We got the old fuel tanks. There's the gas tank right there, which I will not be using. And there's a few other things in here which I will not be using any of this at all. There's the PTO shaft, I am assuming, because that's missing out of it. As you can see, the floors are rotted. I think this is just a plate that they plated over the old floors with. But we are going to be taking all of this off. This is just going to be a straight truck bed. We got some big plans for what's going to be going on back there. And then I hope all the lights work. This way it just keeps it simple, keeps it easy. This way we can all do cosmetic stuff. But you take a walk around this side, you can see that cab corner is blown out like a grandmother. The rocker's pretty solid on this side. And then come around over here. Nothing going on special over here. And back to the bumper side of things. It's not that bad. The only thing I don't like about it is, I don't know, they must have snapped this part off back in the day or something. So I'm probably going to have to recreate that side. And then we'll take a walk inside the interior. Take a look in here. Not much to it. There's no interior in this truck at all. They must have plated the floors. You can see there's no floors right there. Take a look back there in a minute. We'll show you there's no more floors over there. Oh, this is no fun. You find parts in here. Got water pump pulley, valve cover bolts, spacer. I don't know what the rest of this is, but it's got multiple sticks for I don't know what. I hope the gauges work. Was that mile an hour? Wow, top speed was 60 in this old rig. That's a cool Sun Pro water temp gauge. Volts, oil pressure, and fuel level, which is definitely not going to work. What's in this rig? Oh. Wow. I think that's an old like M80. I don't even know. We'll leave that alone. Oh. This just fell out too. Huh. What does that say? Well, I'll put that back in there. The rig's already falling apart. I haven't even worked on it yet. So that's it really for the inside. It's pretty simple. I'm definitely going to be taking this whole tarp off to make it, clean it up a little bit and figure out a way to put a permanent roof on it. But then we'll go around here to the engine bay and see what's going on in here. Let's pop this rig right open. Ugh, fellas. It's really tough. Definitely needs some oil. Okay. Let's pop the rig. Rig is popped. So first thing I see wrong in here, there's no oil cap on it. No valve cover cap, I mean. Looks like we were right. There's no water pump pulley on this rig. You know what? I'll just show you guys. Alright, so there you can see we have no valve cover breather. So there's no spark plugs in there. That means this whole rig was open to the elements for 5 years. So who knows what's inside those cylinder walls. We're definitely going to have to stick a funnel down there and put some Marvel mystery in there. What's cool about this rig as well is there's some shorties on here. So the shorties go out to there and back out the front. So I think you guys know what we're going to do. We're going to eliminate that junk pipe and just go right there. That's going to be pretty awesome. It'll be easy because there's already shorties on there as well. So battery's been plugged in for all this time, so that means you know that this thing is dead. We got heater hose that don't do heating. Go around this side. Got a new radiator. This thing definitely doesn't have any radiator juice in it, I'll tell you that, probably. I'm just gonna guess. Yep. Dry as all nothing, whatever. So that's dry, that's good. No spark plugs on this side either, so all these cylinders are probably blown out. We got the factory transmission back there, which I'm hoping the clutch is still good. I'm hoping the brakes are good. All you gotta do is add some fluid and call it a day. That carburetor is locked up. Oh, yeah. Alright, so. That's gonna need some PB Blaster, fellas. Okay, so now I got my ratchet and my socket to go on the harmonic balancer. I didn't turn this over in the first place because I kind of had hope it was gonna turn over. Alright, so I got the ratchet. Got the ratchet, I'm gonna put it on the balancer. I got hope it's gonna turn over, don't worry, fellas. Oh no. Oh no, fellas. Wow.
I might have to go on that flywheel and actually...
Brothers and sisters, we might have a problem.
We could drag it and put it in gear.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, we could do that. Okay, so we might have a little problem here, fellas. This motor is not turned. I wasn't really expecting that because it's like the motor isn't even that old. It's a crate motor. But I think what did it is I left it open to the elements. So the spark plugs were not on. You know?
That'll do it.
So, I'm going to wiggle it back and forth for now. And then if it really doesn't turn, I'm going to make a nice little concoction in a bucket. And I'll let it sit in the cylinders for about a week. Alright, I'm not having much hope now, guys. Those rings are just stuck right in there, huh? See, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you don't leave your spark plugs out or your carburetor off. Preferably your spark plugs. Don't leave those off. Nah, man. She's locked up. I had high hopes it wasn't gonna do this, but it just did it. Yeah, so fellas, what we're gonna do is we are gonna make a concoction. We're gonna do acetone, Marvel, and maybe a little bit of training fluid, and we're gonna put it in the cylinders and just let it sit for a week because there's nothing else we could do at this point. So I'm just gonna cover the intake with some tape just in case it is good. In the next week, I don't want to completely bring it to crap, so we're gonna go ahead and fill up those cylinders with some juice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the cylinders are all filled up with our concoction of juices. Now we're gonna go ahead, hook up my Tahoe to this thing, put it in first, and we're gonna pull it and hope this motor comes unstuck. Because if this motor does not come unstuck now, we'll let everything else sit for another little while, and maybe a week or something. And then if it doesn't come unstuck then we're gonna get a 12 valve Duramax with an Allison and swap that into there. But we're not thinking that far ahead. We're just gonna get this 350 unstuck, because it doesn't have a choice. And let's give it a shot, and hopefully my tile doesn't blow up in the process. All right, so I'm just putting a rag on this way. When we yank this thing, nothing falls into it. So we're just gonna put a rag over the intake, and that's about it. Take this ratchet off, and hopefully this thing comes unstuck. All right, so Scarp's gonna sit in here while we yank this thing.
See if you get a turnover.
And we're gonna put my Tahoe on it right there, and see if we can get it to turn over, because that's the only option right now. We got my Tahoe hooked up. We already yanked on it a couple times, not doing anything, but I'm gonna give it a couple more yanks just for high hopes. We're gonna give it a shot. You fellas ready? We'll give it one more shot. All right, things aren't looking good. All right. All right, so I'm gonna let it sit. Nothing I can do about it now. I'm gonna let the stuff I put in the cylinder sit and hope it just comes back to life. So we're gonna put it back in its parking spot. Like I said, let it sit for a week, and that's that for now. All right, fellers and futs, we have quite the problem here. This rig is locked up. I mean, locked up like a top security prison, you know. This thing ain't getting free anytime soon. So, you guys saw just in the previous clip that we tried pulling it with my Tahoe, tried yanking it. It's about 3.5 days later. I let it soak in all sorts of rust dissolving chemicals. And we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot and see if it broke free by a breaker bar. And if it didn't break free with a breaker bar, we're gonna have to pull these heads off in the intake, because I'm not buying a new motor and I'm not pulling this motor. So we're gonna go ahead and disassemble it and see what we can do with the heads off. So let's put a 5/8 socket on this rig and let's get to cranking and see if she turns. All right, so here goes nothing. I gotta grease these hinges, you know. Hope it comes loose. I don't think it will though. It's one thing I don't like about this rig, that the engine's so far down in there, it's hard to work on, you know. Oh boy, yeah. I just don't feel it coming. I don't think so, fellas. I think this intake and head's gonna have to come off. That's what sucks, man. So, just give it a couple more tries and it's coming apart. Yeah, no. I don't want to snap that crank bolt. And I know some of you are probably thinking, why not go on the flywheel? Well, there's a manual in this thing and the bell housing is surrounding the flywheel. You can't even see the flywheel. You can't even get a breaker bar on the flywheel. So, we're pulling the heads off. I'm gonna see if I can get access to it like that. And this way you guys can see if it's even possible to do it. It definitely is possible. It's just to the point of how locked up is the motor. So if as long as we can get a couple centimeters out of a piston, it's good. It's free. That means we can go ahead and do it by the crank. I'm gonna see if I can maybe sand down the cylinder walls a little bit near the rings, but let's hope for the best. So let's get right into it. We're just gonna start with taking the headers off. And these things have shorties, which is gonna make it a lot easier. So we're gonna head and take those off. So here goes nothing. All right, got my sockets. I don't know what size this is. What's nice about these wheel wells, it actually makes a nice tool tray, you know? Because they knew you were gonna be working on the rig, so they're like, let's make it convenient for them, you know? You guys got any funny jokes for me? Leave them in the comments below. I love jokes. Those things are literally hand tight. Whoever, this guy is probably gonna watch this video who I bought it from, so not to be insulting, but brother, thank God I bought this thing. Because this thing needs some serious nursing back to life. You know what I mean? This rig was a lot more than I intended for. But, what are you gonna do? At least it wasn't like will it drive home type of video. Because boy, this thing wouldn't have made it. And I didn't get it from far. It's just, no way I was doing all this in his backyard on a Thursday night. With no tools. Okay, well, about 20 minutes later and an electric impact, header's off. See, all loosey-goosey out of there. Okay, header gasket is still good. So that's always good. Don't have to buy a new one. That's always good. Let's check her out. Yeah, header gasket's mint. Some cobwebs, some oil. What more could you ask for? Shit is just falling everywhere right now. Okay. Two. Three. Four. Five. Got one more. This side's a little tighter. Well, you wanna know what it probably was? Is that the passenger side is always easier on these type of rigs, especially classic cars. The header's passenger side is always the easiest, unless you have like some crazy setup going on. But as you can see, this is not a crazy setup, so passenger side is easier. That's probably why they're all much more tighter. And there's 6. See, that one's off. So, time to take the distributor out. Oh, wow, that's tighter than everything else on this freaking rig. Hey, at least it's pretty comfortable to get the stupid distributor out. Because it's 19 feet back in the engine bay. And it's... There it is. Yep. Everything's rusty, huh? Even the base of the distributor is filled with corrosion. So, alright, I'm gonna hop out of here finally. And then I'm gonna start pulling the intake off. So it's a 3/8 12 point with this. That one's not that bad. Having battery powered tools is beautiful. It makes it so much quicker and faster and nicer. Alright, I got the impact gun. Now this is where we kind of have to be a little more organized than usual instead of just having everything sit around over here. So, damn ice cream man, got no respect. Can't you see I'm filming? But we gotta be a little more organized than usual with this. So we know sides, intake, exhaust, for cylinders, etc. You guys know the deal. Go ahead and take these off. Alright, this side's all off. Go ahead and take the other side off. Alright, now that the rockers are out, gotta take the push rods out. And this guy just, he must have painted while the motor was open and everything got paint on him. You know? You have to make sure all these are not bent. Oh. See, that one's seized in there. Alright, we got it out. Look at the corrosion on this, guys. It's terrible. We'll go ahead and put these with the other side now. Alright, take out this side. We have to inspect if any of these are bent. Some are just so destroyed and corroded. Not corroded, they just have a lot of varnish and stuff on them. We're definitely have to soak these in oil and brake clean and clean them up. Go put these with the other side now. Okay, actually guys, what I might do is I might try to turn the motor over with no push rods or rockers on. And see if that could have been the problem, was those push rods. So let's give that a shot. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you know. We're already tearing it apart anyway. Doesn't hurt to try it while we're already here. No. Nope. Nope. Still seized up. I was hoping maybe like something was caught in the rods or something, or, you know, I don't know. Wishful thinking. Like, this guy's alternator bolt was barely tight, but his ground strap was 17 ugga duggas. Should have started unbolting these heads. Alright, well, let's see how tight these are. Alright, there's one head bolt. There's another head bolt. Alright, the head's loose. You guys freaking see that? Oh my god. I just never seen such a thing like this, guys. Once I get this fluid out, you guys are gonna have to take a look at this. Cause this is just like something I haven't even seen on YouTube before. Check this out, guys. So, I don't know if you guys can see that, but look at all of that. I can't believe what I'm seeing right there. This is clean, there's nothing really in there. This cylinder is clean, it looks like. That one, same thing, filled with the same material this one has in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can go ahead and get all this stuff out. Look at that. That's just a small sample of what's in there. But I mean, just check out inside these cylinder walls. See, when it's all clean, it's not that bad. No ridges, but just destroyed. I'm gonna take out that side, and once I'm done taking that out, I'm gonna fill all of it up with ATF as much as I can, cover it, and get back to it another time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to pop this cylinder head off now. There goes all the coolant. Up. That head slided. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, now I gotta get this cylinder head out of this deep engine bay. Give me a minute, fellas. Alright. Let's see what the bottom of this cylinder head looks like. See what the valves look like. This one is much, much cleaner. That's a good sign. Let me go ahead and put this thing down. Alright, so this side's looking a lot cleaner. Maybe not. Okay. Okay, yeah, this side is much cleaner, guys. I don't know why that side was so dirty. Let's get all this ATF out of here. Alright, that side was much better. Let's give them a good wipe down and start soaking these with ATF. I think we're gonna do next. Alright guys, screw it. It's the last minute thinking right here. We're just gonna pull this motor. It's literally just freaking 4 bolts and I got the hoist already. We're just gonna pull the motor. What's it gonna change? It's gonna be just as easy to get in as easy as to get out. Knock on some wood. You know what I mean, fellas? Alright, so, and I know the audio is probably just a smidge different. I don't have the mic on, the mic's dead. And I only have today to do this because I'm going away for about 6 days, 7 days. So the next clip you're gonna see when this motor is inside the shop is a week from today. So here we go. Alright, I'm here getting the engine hoist set up. So we can pull this motor. The problem with this is it's a really deep engine bay, so it's hard to get this in there, but the good thing it's pretty light right now. There's no top end on it. Alright, we are making some progress. We have it mostly completely separated. Now we're gonna start lifting up. This thing should swing just like that. You guys ready? Hope so. There we go. Up. There she goes. She's separated from the transmission. Now we're gonna have to go ahead and somehow lift this thing out of here in a professional way without damaging the thing. I gotta take the hood off. Alright, just like that, we have a lot more room. Now let's continue pulling this motor out. Alright, so I couldn't really reposition it, so I hooked up a come along, and now I'm just going to try to level it out. Hopefully it doesn't break. This is definitely up there with like one of the more sketchy shit I've done. Hallelujah, I'm having a heart attack. This is a little sketch, you know? Especially when you're doing this all alone, no friends around, it gets a little hairy. All I know is if this thing comes down, I'm out of here. Closing the hood, closing up shop, and going home. We're definitely getting somewhere though. Alright, fellers, we can lower it down a little bit. A little bit more, you know what I mean? Okay, that's max for right now. Okay, so this thing is basically, it is all the way out. So, what do we do with it now? Well, I'm gonna lower it to get the center of gravity pretty good. So I'm gonna pull it back a little more and basically lower it to the floor. All right, and touchdown. The rig is on the floor, and now I gotta figure out how am I gonna get this inside the shop. That's a good question. I'm gonna go figure that out now, and I'll get back to you on that. Hello, humans watching this to the end of this video. If you are still watching, I appreciate it, because I can tell you guys aren't watching for the whole thing or even half of it. So I don't appreciate it. So if you guys could, keep on watching. So here we have the motor. I took off the oil pan, not on camera, to see if I could even loosen up these the main caps and to see if it would free up from there. Nope, did not free up. No sign of even hope. So we are going to do a rebuild on this motor. We're going to tear it down, take the pistons, rods out, the crank out. Obviously, everything's going to come out except the block. So if you guys want to see that, comment below. If you guys want to see a rebuild video, comment below, because I've never rebuilt a motor in my entire life. So if you guys want to see a video on a rebuild on this 350 and put it back in that Jeep, comment below or like and subscribe. But either way, a motor is going to go back in that Jeep to get this thing running and driving again after 5 years. We're not going to stop here just because this Chevy 350 decided to give out because someone didn't put the spark plugs in after 5 years of sitting. Who does that? But this did not go as planned, fellas. It was not supposed to go like this. I had hope it was going to turn. I bought this thing like sight on scene basically because it was a good deal. So, here the motor is. This was not supposed to happen at all. It was supposed to go the complete opposite. This thing was supposed to just free up and work as it should, but it did not work as it should. So, now, like I said, we are either going to rebuild this thing or just buy a cheap 350 that's already running. So guys, like and comment below on what you guys would like to see us do. Either just buy the motor or build this motor. By the way, that thing's getting running and driving. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. There will probably be about 3 parts to this video. The video you just watched, the second part will be rebuilding the motor, and then the third part would be getting it actually running and driving again. And then the fourth video would be like cleaning it up, doing all the fun stuff to it, all the stuff that you do for fun. This is mandatory to get this thing running, driving. So like I said, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.